Back in 2019, my folks owned a holiday retreat in the quaint town of Harper's Ridge, Vermont. Nestled on a 2-acre property surrounded by dense woods, we used to frequent the place as a family during my younger years. However, as we all grew into adults, our schedules rarely aligned for a family visit. Yet during the early stages of my courtship with my partner, Alex, I shared stories about our cozy getaway tucked away in the scenic beauty of Harper's Ridge. Around our 5th date in October, the leaves began their mesmerizing transformation, and I playfully suggested spending a weekend at the retreat. Alex eagerly agreed, and 2 days later, we were packing for a road trip to Harper's Ridge. The drive took about 5 hours, filled with conversations ranging from TV shows to childhood memories, punctuated by comedy shows and podcasts. Upon arriving in Harper's Ridge, we first strolled through the charming village to showcase its quaintness. 10 minutes later, we reached the house. We had a small wooden gate at the driveway, a mere deterrent without a lock. I got out to open it, and as we drove onto the property, the well-kept surroundings impressed Alex. Lunchtime welcomed us, and after a tour of the place, I fired up the hot tub on the back deck. In the evening, we explored the town, visited the Harper's Ridge Heritage Museum, and returned to the house as darkness fell. Settling into the hot tub under the awning, we enjoyed the chilly night until an unexpected sound interrupted our tranquility, the crunching of leaves mimicking footsteps. Alarmed, we leaped out, suspecting a bear. Rushing inside, I turned off the lights, thinking it would deter any wildlife. Peeking through a window, expecting to find a bear, I instead saw a human silhouette walking along the side of the house. Reacting quickly, we locked doors and blinds, puzzled by the unexpected intrusion. Moments later, a knock came, accompanied by a voice claiming to be the police responding to a breaking and entering call. Skeptical, I checked for a police car but found none. Unconvinced, I refused to open the door. Silence ensued, and when we looked again, the mysterious figure had vanished. Uneasy, we spent the night indoors, but the next day brought a new surprise. While returning from hiking and a day out, Alex screamed at the sight of someone hastily retreating from the house into the woods. Despite my attempts to reassure her, we packed, ready to leave the next morning. As we prepared for bed, I heard an odd scraping sound outside. Investigating, I discovered a man at the window attempting to peer inside. Armed with my dad's shotgun, I fired into the air, unleashing a scream to scare off the intruder. The incident left us on edge, but we made it through the night. The next morning, I reported the unsettling events to the local police. Subsequent visits to Harper's Ridge were thankfully free of such eerie encounters, providing a sense of relief for our family. Late one night, I found myself traversing the winding roads of Eldora, a small town in Colorado. It was around 1 a.m, and I decided to make a pit stop in Eldora for gas and a quick snack at a local convenience store. After refueling, I resumed my journey, acutely aware of the deserted roads, typical for this hour. Despite the emptiness, I maintained a steady 55 miles per hour, not wanting to risk any trouble. Suddenly, the ominous flash of red and white lights in my rearview mirror shattered the tranquility. Reluctantly, I pulled over, scrutinizing my speed to confirm it was only a marginal 2 miles over the limit. Irritation mingled with curiosity as the vehicle behind me mirrored my stop. I had never been pulled over before, and my annoyance grew as an individual approached my car. Lowering my window, I demanded an explanation for the stop, asserting my rights. Something felt off. The officer's uniform deviated from the norm, lacking the typical police insignia. His badge ominously declared him part of the criminal task force. Suspicion heightened as I noticed the absence of blue lights. Refusing to hand over my license without a valid reason, I questioned his legitimacy. The situation escalated as he insisted I exit the car, prompting me to request the presence of a supervisor. His demeanor grew aggressive, and I became increasingly uncomfortable. Doubting his authenticity, I rolled up the window, further infuriating him. Tensions reached a climax when he forcefully attempted to unlock my door. Reacting swiftly, I sped away, fearing the worst. Racing at the speed limit, I noticed the pursuing car closing in with its lights on. Desperation set in and I dialed 911, recounting the harrowing chase by a possible impersonator. As I neared the Fraser Winter Park Police Department, the imposter suddenly extinguished his lights and veered away at an intersection. The relief washed over me, confirming my suspicions. Arriving at the police station, I recounted the entire encounter to an on-duty officer. Grateful for my instincts, I shared every detail, from the imposter's face to the intersection where he disappeared. The officer recorded my statement and contact information, preparing for potential follow-ups. Trusting my intuition spared me from an uncertain fate that night, leaving me to ponder the disturbing possibilities that might have unfolded had I complied with the imposter's demands. In the heart of rural Ohio, I find solace within the quiet embrace of my quaint abode. At 29, living alone in a house that could easily be mistaken for the setting of a horror film, I've come to cherish the serenity it offers, far removed from the chaos of city life. Weekends spent here are my escape, a chance to recharge amidst the tranquil countryside. On a Friday evening, while I was relaxing at home, someone knocked on my door repeatedly, breaking the peaceful atmosphere. It was a salesman carrying a clipboard and talking about recent burglaries. He wanted to sell me a security system. At first, I wasn't sure, but his stories made me think about improving my home security. As darkness descended, the tranquility was shattered once more by insistent knocking. Unease gripped me as I hesitated to answer, wary of the late hour and the persistent intrusions. Yet, curiosity got the better of me, and I cautiously approached the door, only to be met with silence on the other side. The night took a sinister turn when my phone rang, displaying an unexpected caller ID, 911 Emergency Services. A voice on the other end claimed police presence outside my home in response to a reported crime. Suspicion gnawed at me as I questioned the legitimacy of the call, prompting a frantic call to genuine emergency services for verification. Amidst the chaos of conflicting information, a sense of foreboding washed over me as masked intruders attempted to breach my sanctuary. Adrenaline surged as I grappled with the reality of the situation, determined to defend my home against unseen adversaries. In the aftermath of the ordeal, suspicion swirled as I pieced together the puzzle of deception orchestrated by the salesman and the fabricated emergency calls. Determined to fortify my defenses, I resolved to remain vigilant against future threats, transforming fear into resilience in the crucible of chaos.